Hey guys, it's H, the Business Connoisseur, and I'm here to talk about the recruitment sector. We'll be getting some insight from Mr. Isaak Badru, a very senior consultant, currently with Build Recruitment, and we're here to basically show what a great business opportunity it is, what a great sector. It's worth north of £30 billion in the UK and Ireland as of 2015, 2016, only set to get bigger. Globally, it's worth north of 100 billion. So it's a huge sector, huge opportunities. So here we go, straight into it. Mr. Isaak Badru, give us your insight.
Oh, that's a good one. So I graduated, and I was like, well, I want to earn money now. I think the first role I stood at, the first advert I saw in the paper was for a recruiter. I just applied and I got the job. This was in 1999, so I haven't looked back since.
Did you think you had good sales skills, or you just chased piles of cash?
I think the latter, but I also felt that my personality at the time, I wasn't scared to talk to anyone of whatever background, and I think that helps along the way.
Cool.
But I actually only found that out while I was in the job, so.
Cool. A little birdie tells us that you've created before a very successful recruitment startup. I know that you're no longer with it. Why haven't you gone that same route again?
It's a good question. Your little birdie is a very intuitive person. So a group of us set up a firm, multidisciplinary firm, of which recruitment was part of it. I headed that up. It was very, very successful indeed. I think when you want to set up a business, particularly a recruitment business, you need to have either the drive or the zest. I think I've done it once before. And I think I needed that safety net the second time round. I didn't really want to do it because I knew the effort that I put into it the first time round. And obviously, as you get older, your motivations and your priorities change. But the positives are that the experience gained from running my own company and the knowledge gained also has helped me within a structured and a more progressive environment. Albeit working for someone else, but at the same time, the ethics are the same, the desire is still the same, but it's just obviously working with the company to prove that actually you can add more value to what they already have within the setup. So, I've had offers to come and sort of set up on my own again, but I'm very happy with what I'm doing currently.
So you would be what they call nowadays an intrapreneur, a business-focused person who does entrepreneurial activities within a role within an organization as opposed to running their own company.
Well, I've never been tagged or pigeonholed, but I still regard myself as an entrepreneur. I think as an entrepreneur, you are charged with giving or showing people actually the right way forward, especially within a business that you know very well. I've been doing this 15 years plus, so I'm here to offer some wisdom to the up and coming recruiters. So absolutely, I still regard myself as an entrepreneur, but I feel free to term it however makes you feel comfortable. It's not a problem.
So just to close on that point, recruitment is a very hard startup game to be in.
Very hard indeed, yes, because there are so many different processes you have to get before you start picking up the phone to make calls, and also the branding and where you're going, how you speak. It's a very finicky world. You can lose a client in a heartbeat if you're not careful. So, what we had to do was get the clients, get the relationships, get the network, get the contracts, most importantly, and also get the bank on side. If you don't have a bank that's understanding, and they can't see a good pipeline, then it's never going to happen. So yeah, recruitment's very difficult, but it can be done. It can be done if you're smart enough. You've got the relationships, then it's seamless.
Okay. Who's more important, client or the candidate?
It's a very good question. In this day and age, the candidate. It's a candidate-driven market, purely because there's a talent shortage, there's a skill shortage at the moment, and there are clients out there who will pay literally anything for the right candidate. I know that because I think I've recently just placed 2 candidates into a very, very big client of mine, based in King's Cross. Anyone that knows the built environment will know who that client is. And they've basically given us a 2.5% uplift on our normal terms, just to basically get them the best candidate out there. And they also pay one of the best pension schemes in the private consultancies nowadays, which is 8%. Wow. And that's not matched anywhere else. Compared to public sector who pay 12, 13, 15%, you won't get that in private consultancy. So, I think a lot of clients now are becoming a lot more educated to the industry. They're not being very boastful anymore. They're not being very arrogant anymore.
They're catering to the
absolutely. So in this day and age, as you speak right now, it's definitely a candidate-driven market. Henceforth, candidates being a lot more important than clients.
So would you call yourself a recruitment consultant, a recruitment agent, or a job broker?
I'm a recruitment consultant. I think by trade.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you collaborate with the client and the candidate, and it's a mutual exercise in finding best fit and finding where skills are needed and how to fill that gap.
Well, you can do my job, Henry, clearly. So that's exactly it. I know you know a lot about the industry, but that's basically it. I think there's also an element of confidentiality that needs to be exercised as well on both parts. Mm-hmm. So this makes us almost, we're almost similar to psychologists. We have to understand the human side of the candidate so that we can understand the type of fit that we can put them into. Because we've got a plethora of candidates, clients. We have a long list of clients who want the same things, but at the same time they're coming from a different background, different scenario, different ethos, different ethics within the company. Which means you have to be very, very particular about the type of candidate you match them up with. So this is how we make our money. It's not just a case of putting any candidate into any role. It's about making sure that things like backgrounds, where they went to school, things like their degree, their grades, what they got, all of these things are relevant. I recently placed a candidate into a client in Chelsea, and they said they only wanted someone who had a first degree, honours. Otherwise, there's no point.
Was that a reasonable request in your opinion?
No. But that's, in any role that you do, you always have the extreme and you have the less extreme. And that was the extreme, but it does happen, it does exist. And I think going forward, when it becomes a client-driven market, it will move to extremes like that.
Right. Your point of view is very refreshing. Very refreshing. Has to be said. In your day-to-day ops, what is the value of social technology and, I guess, candidate stroke client management technology? Does it impinge much, or are you still more a human activity operator?
That's a good question. I think one of the things I always say, and I've been in the industry so long, you come across so many different, systems and client relationship management tools to try and help you. But I think ultimately, the human side is never lost. You speak to a candidate, you speak to a client, you log that straight away. Be it in your diary, be it on the system, things like social media, social interaction, social enterprise, from a marketing perspective, to get your candidate out there to the right people, the e-shots, the email adverts, these are very important tools, but they're not essential tools. They're important on the face of it, so people can see that you're doing the right thing, but the essential tools is the human recruitment consultant, because you have to pick up the phone to talk to someone. Candidates will judge for themselves how genuine a consultant is, and depending on how the consultant comes across or how good the consultant is, will depend on whether or not they make that placement with that candidate. So the reason why I go back to the question you asked about, is it a client-driven or candidate-driven market? It's a candidate-driven market because candidates will dictate who they work with. And if you can get a candidate exclusively to work with you for at least a month, then you will place that candidate. But if a candidate is signed up with 500 other consultants, then you're playing with fire, really. You're wasting your time because there's no priorities there. You're sending them to a client who they've probably already been sent to before by another agent. So it gets a bit convoluted and it gets a bit stressful for both parties. And going back to the branding element and being important and recruitment being a difficult arena to work with them, clients are very finicky. If they think you're not doing your job very well, or you're not being very focused, and they're receiving the same duplicate CVs they received 5 days before, then they will stop using you, which is money in your pocket, and your company becomes a very bad company because you're sending the same candidates that 5 other agencies have sent already. So, it's a vicious cycle, which is why, as you know from previous experience, I was on board of the REC just to get to separate myself from the usual recruitment consultant. I believe I'm a good consultant because I've gone out of my way to do talks about these things. I'm passionate about getting people into roles. I've proved that in my professional life, giving candidates suits just so they can go and sit down and interview and impress. and get the job, because obviously they're from not great background, so they haven't got money to buy a suit or a pair of shoes. You just go that one step further. You fill the job, the client's happy, the candidate's happy. But what happens is when that candidate becomes a client, he will come back to you, and then that progressive evolution continues, and then you become your name reverberates around the industry. People want to talk to you like yourself.
These are really good points of view, and you beat me to the punch. I was going to raise your former tenure as an REC non-exec director, and going back to the REC and your time there and just how things are now. In some quarters, there seems to be a negative perception of recruiters. The cowboys, the sales-driven guys who don't give the care and attention that you obviously do. What do you feel the industry or the REC should do to really stamp out these cowboy operators? Is it the individual, or is it the agency who employs them, or both? To be honest, it's a mixture of both, all the above. I think one of the things that we try and do in this company, Ian Brown, is I'm an advocate for this. I'm very thorough with both clients and candidates, very thorough, to the point where I want to know what football team they support. Because as you talk about sport or anything similar, you can strike up a conversation. I just think with the RSC, the RSC need to visit a lot more, I would say, the younger generation of recruitment consultants. Because I think nowadays recruitment consulting is becoming a role where you do and see how it feels. And after 2 years, if you're still in it, then you're in it for the next 10 years. And it shouldn't be that way, which is why they brought out the recruitment degree. That degree at Business University was brought in for serious, passionate people who are seriously passionate about recruitment. And I think until they sort out the difference between this being a profession as opposed to it being a stopgap, we will always have that divide of cowboys. That's we're just chasing the money. Because you can if you've got a fax machine at home or a scanner and a mobile phone that makes 3 calls, you can become a recruitment consultant. It's as simple as that. Don't give the game away. Trust me, there's a lot more science behind that, but you can do it. However, the longevity as to how long you're doing it for, obviously, is going to be questionable. But yeah, so I think with the RS, one of the things I really was quite sort of hot on was doing a lot of talks, which you're definitely aware of, going to universities, going to colleges, starting it from the grassroots. At one point, there were 1,600 consultancies, recruitment consultancies within London. It's lots of recruitment consultancies. How many in London? 1,600. Wow. And that's an official figure. I'm trying. My memory fails me in terms of what year that was established, but around about 2005-ish. Within the last 10 years, there have been, and that's then. Can you imagine how much that figure's added to now? And we're talking about the ones we know of, not about the cowboys that work out of basements and boxes just to make a buck here and there. So, it's to be able to distinguish a good consultant from a bad one. You can always tell. It's like looking at a bad penny. You can tell what's a good penny and what's a bad penny. I think, if a recruitment consultant is very, very anxious to understand what you're all about as a person before they do, as they do trying to understand what you are as a professional person, then that person's a good consultant. But the recruiter's just saying, look, you're looking for work, mate. Great. Right, how much you earn? £10 an hour, perfect. I'll call you back tomorrow. It's a bit Timbuktu, it's a bit ghetto. It's not how we do it now. I think, I'm if someone says to me, "Oh, do you work for a recruitment agency?" I say, "No, I don't. I work for a recruitment consultancy." I like that. It's a very, very. We get a bad name, and I say we very loosely. I'm not a part of that bandit, but we get a bad name because, unfortunately, there are cowboys. I always use the analogy of if you have a white, pristine wall, similar to what we have here, Ian Brown, and somebody puts a black dot on that white wall that's pristine. What's the first thing? Thank you so much, Isaac. That brings to a close part 1. We have a part 2 when we go into more detail with Mr. Badru. So come on, guys, come back for part 2. See you then.